Hi everybody, my name's Amber. I am Shu's fiance, and I know a lot of other significant others put up videos, so I figured I would record a little something just to kind of tell, I guess, my side of the story about how this process has been for me so far. So it will be 2.5 months in like 6 or 7 days, whatever the end of April is. That'll be 2.5 months or 2.5 years for us. And I think when I met Shu, I wasn't really thinking about any of the trans stuff. I didn't know anyone who was trans at the time, or at least not anyone who had told me that they are or were. And I think we had a couple initial conversations a few months into our relationship, but nothing really serious. And when I asked him about it, I think when we were talking about it a few months in, he was like, well, I thought about it, but I don't know if I'd ever do it, and kind of left it at that. And then last summer, like June-ish, he brought it up again to me as I really want to do this, and I feel like I have the support now, and like I'm at a place in my life where it makes sense. And so I started doing a lot of reading and watched a few videos and read a lot of articles and websites and things like that to try and understand as much as I could. And it was kind of hard at first, I think, because I thought a lot about what it means for my identity, and I think I've seen this a lot I'm on a Yahoo group for significant others, and some folks have talked about it there, that there's kind of this moment where you're like, okay, well, what does this mean for us as we move forward? I think that's been probably my biggest struggle, is once he's fully transitioned, what does it mean for us when we're in gay spaces, and how are people going to see us? And I think I've had to get myself to the point where I don't care what other people think, and where their opinion or they're trying to figure out how we fit shouldn't affect whether or not we feel like we fit wherever we are. I think the most surprising thing for me in this process has been that it's been really relatively easy. He really only had one family member who kind of freaked out, but we expected that before the conversation even happened. I think he's talked about this person before. And other than that, it's been really easy. In thinking about how I was going to come out to people in my life, I told a few people in person. I told a few friends on the phone who live further away. Some of my coworkers, I kind of picked a core group of people who are the folks who mean the most to me where I work, and told them, and they were all wonderful. One of them talked to me about her son and some of his struggles, and how she was glad that there were people like Shu who were transitioning, because it would make it easier for her kid if he decides to do that when he gets older. And for the most part, it's been really easy. It's funny because I think when you start telling people this, some people ask a lot of questions, and some people ask no questions, which is really funny. One of my coworkers, she and I took a homosexuality class together, so she asked a whole lot of questions and wanted to know how everything was going to work, and so I explained as much as I knew about how things were going to work. But really, it's been pretty easy. Our families have been wonderful. Our friends have been wonderful. People have been accepting. And so it's made it pretty easy. And Shu hasn't really had crazy mood swings. He hasn't been too difficult to be around for the most part, so that's made it a lot easier. He's laughing at me, which probably means the video is shaking right now. But that was something I was nervous about too, like kind of this going through puberty thing again, and whether or not there was going to be lots of hormonal moments like you see with teenage boys. But that hasn't been the case, which has been really nice. It's just been easy. So I think the bit of advice I would give is don't be afraid to tell people, because you never know how people are going to react. There are some people who I was kind of nervous about, like my family I was a little nervous about. Not because they're not wonderful and loving, but you kind of never know how people are going to react. and they were happy that he had figured out what was going to make him happy. And I'm happy to answer questions. If people have questions that they want me to answer about being a significant other, about the transition, being a part of someone else's transition and what that's like, I'm more than happy to answer. And I'm sure I've been rambling for like 6 or 7 minutes now. 5? Okay, that's not bad. So I'm going to go, but thanks everybody for watching. Feel free to leave comments or questions or whatever. And I hope everybody has a good day.